The Bernalillo County Commission will consider a request next week for an approval of a plan to build businesses, homes, and parks on a piece of land west of Albuquerque. The Santa Elena Master Plan has been in the works for decades. The land was once part of the Atrisco Land Grant, and you can see our previous coverage of the debate over the Santa Elena Plan at NewMexicoInFocus.org. Correspondent Floyd Vasquez sat down this week with the head of the Atrisco companies to talk about the history of the Atrisco Land Grant and activities of its successor organization.
Peter Sanchez is the Chief Executive Officer of the Atrisco companies. And Peter, people are talking about the Santa Elena development. You have some community groups who are adamantly against it, and economic development experts say we need it. Are the Atrisco heirs part of this discussion?
Not really, not any longer, certainly not in any formal sense. When we did sell the land, there was a tighter partnership with the original developer, but not really any formal or even informal connection with this new developer.
Okay. And the piece of land that is being debated right now, it was sold in 2006 by the Atrisco Land Grant heirs. How much was it sold for, and how was the money distributed?
It was sold for quite a bit of money. If you remember that time, that we were at an artificial real estate high, just right in front of a bubble that would occur a few years from that point. We sold it for $250 million. Plus, we had other consideration that was bargained for example, the payment of a $1 million a year sum to the Atrisco Heritage Foundation.
Now, and is that, as I understand it, that money is no longer being paid, is that right?
That's correct. Unfortunately, as years went forward, we go into 2008, 2009, the real estate debacle occurs and the recession occurs, and we lost that component of the deal to the buyer because they were foreclosed upon.
Okay. You know, the original settlers of Atrisco arrived 400 years ago.
Right.
And given the history of the region, it's pretty remarkable that we're still talking about it today. Give us a brief history of the Atrisco Land Grant.
Well, you're right. It is remarkable. I mean, we take a lot of pride in the fact that we feel we're a very successful land grant. We had a lot of very fortunate things happen to us. First of all, coming here 400 years ago, being early pioneers, as it turned out, we end up on in the most populated area of Albuquerque or New Mexico, so the land that we held turned out to be very valuable. We also, through time in that 400-year history, we've transitioned or transformed into corporations. First one being in the early 1900s to sort of protect the land and help it get to the 21st century. So it's been a remarkable journey, and even today we have succession plans in play. So it's been a good experience for our heirs, and it's been a good land grant experience.
Well, you know, on your website it says the legacy of the Atrisco Land Grant continues through the Atrisco companies. There are 5 of them.
Right.
Now, how do these companies serve Atrisco heirs and the wider community?
Well, what we've done, and I think as far as I can see, no other land grant is transformed in this way. We were able to, during the time that we sold the land, to transform the companies into a set of nonprofits by holding assets and then working and building more assets as time went forward. So today we run 5 companies in the youth service area, education, doing before and after school academic programs, Mariachi Spectacular, doing cultural music preservation. We still run cemeteries through an El Campo Santo that provides low-cost burial services. So there's just a set of nonprofits that we consider a social enterprise that provide community benefits to heirs and non-heirs in this community.
Well, let's talk about the each of those, or a couple of them, in more detail. Sure. Talk about the educational service, the daycare with the academic curriculum.
Right. This was a company that when I first moved back here, I could see that the state of our educational system was lacking, and I found through a partnership a company that had developed an academic-based after-school program, before and after-school program. They had not been able to scale it, and so when we acquired that company, we were able to apply some really good business practices and build what they had developed into 6 after-school sites, mostly in the South Valley, to about 60 after-school sites across the state of New Mexico, from Deming north into Santa Fe and Taos.
From 6 to 60.
6 to 60 in about 5 years. It's just been a very fast-growing company in the middle of a recession, mainly because the needs there, the opportunities there, and the families and the parents want their kids to get supplemental education, and that's what we provide.
And what about the burial service? Talk about that.
El Campo Santo is a company that's been a historic company for us. It's part of our land grant heritage. Initially, it was to bury our own heirs, our own community, but as time went forward, through 3 separate cemeteries on the west side, we have developed this into a nonprofit business for all the community. And what we do is we provide low-cost burial services, generally about half the cost of a competitor out there. Now the lands are more unique, they're more diverse. We provide our customers, I guess if you would say, the families, with the opportunity to be more autonomous in the way that they express themselves in their cemetery plots. So it's not a manicured lawn, it's a much more diverse cultural setting for a cemetery, and it's really beautiful.
That's really wonderful. Now, the kind of cultural heritage that you're talking about there also is present in the Mariachi Spectacular.
Absolutely.
Talk about that a little bit.
So Mariachi Spectacular is a company that's been in this community for nearly 25 years. And 3 years ago, the founder and owner of that organization, looking for a succession plan, came to us as a way of allowing this organization to move on when she was ready to step away. And so we have. We've integrated it into the Trisco companies, and what Mariachi Spectacular does is it provides music education, conferences, concerts each year here in Albuquerque, bringing kids from all over the state and country here to get instruction from master teachers to students, and that's in that process we preserve and even flourish this genre of music for our community and for our country. So it's been a great company, a great addition to the Atrisco companies. This year is our 25th anniversary of Mariachi Spectacular in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So it's a big year for us.
Fantastic. Now, the Atrisco Heritage Foundation has as its mission to promote the history of the land grant and of the general community of Albuquerque. How do you go about doing that?
There's a number of ways that we go about it. For example, we look for naming opportunities, a sort of way of staking names in the community of the land grant in order to ensure that as we move forward in time, the heritage is recognized through names. For example, we several years ago, we advocated with the Albuquerque Public School Board to name the Atrisco Heritage Academy, the newest high school on the Southwest Mesa, that. And so we were successful in getting that name attached to that school. That's an example. But we do other things too. We support local businesses by gaining naming rights on buildings and things like that. Just anything to help put our name out there so that people will remember the land grant here in this community.
And very quickly, where can people find more information about the Atrisco companies?
Our website is www.triscocompanies.com, and from there it's a landing site that allows you to reach all 5 companies.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for finding the time to come in and talk with us about this.
Excellent. Thank you.